Hey guys, it's Sarah's night again, and I'm back with continuing on with the Mega Man X LP run with Mega Man X6. Um, I did Mega Man X5 a weekend or two ago, and I just thought I'd just keep right on going. And honestly, I don't know, X6 seems to have gotten mixed reviews really, and by that I'm just going off of game FAQs. Hey, yeah, I think I'll stick with normal. Too bad there's not like a turbo gain speed. Anyway, just going off of the collection of reviews off of GameFAQs.com, it actually seems that just about as many people hate this game as they liked it. I'm not really sure why, because me personally, this is actually my third favorite game in the Mega Man X series, even over X1, which is probably your normal fans' favorite in the series. But yeah, I really don't see why the people that had hate over this game do. It was really challenging in the fact that it's easier to die in this game, let's say that. But I mean, and just assuming because I was able to, once you play it a couple of times and get used to it, well, it's not actually difficult. You can still get through it. It's just that platforming's a little bit harder. Bosses, you really have to come up with a good strategy for each of them and get a pattern down, or else they're going to run right over you. But I kind of like that. I mean, Maverick should be challenging, at least starting off, on your first time. And if I remember correctly, the story was pretty good. I mean, as much as Mega Man can have a story. But yeah, you got after the whole plot of X5, you got the Earth pretty much in shambles right now. There are not too many humans left. The Maverick Hunters have been reduced down to a precious few, certainly. And here, this particular Reploid named Dr. Gate has found a piece of Zero's DNA from I think he's at the battle site of X0 and Sigma in X5. And when I say that, I'm assuming that just if there's any kind of official plot line, then X and Zero always battle Sigma together. And because I guess because Zero was the original, Maverick, having been created by Dr. Wily, Dr. Gate's now insane. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the X5 LP, but I don't know why they took out the actual animated cutscenes, because I thought in X4 they were great. Sure, the voice acting wasn't that good, but it definitely added spice to the game. And now we just have still images with people talking in Japanese. Well, actually, in comparison to X5, we now have voice acting in this game, and I mean X5 didn't even have that. You just read the text. But so I guess this is a step up from X5 in that regard, but still I don't know why they didn't just stick with fully animated scenes entirely from X4. So now Gates on this kick about how he's going to build a utopia for like only the strongest Reploids, and of course Zero's DNA, being able to transform normal Reploids into Mavericks, should be able to do that. So Gates got all sorts of crazy robot creations he's going to send after us using Zero's power. Saying DNA it's a little bit funny. I mean, we're talking about non-living entities here. I guess X has been... Oh, and there's Alia. She's back, which is cool. I guess X has been sleeping all this time, just chilling out since X5, but Alia just goes, there's a giant Maverick on the loose, so go to wherever. We always have a, prelude stage here. So the thing is, in this game, Zero's actually, we're not playing as Zero yet, because as far as X knows and everybody else, he's dead from the last battle with Sigma. And X has Zero's saber, but of course he's completely inept with it. It actually has no use except for one particular battle in the game, which we'll get to in a little bit. But Aelia was nice enough to keep the Falcon armor in good condition for us, I suppose. But it doesn't have the floating ability that X5 had, which is fine, I guess. We don't really need it here. So interestingly, whenever that exclamation mark appears at the lower right of the screen, Aelia will give us a hint as to what to do next. But as you can see, all X can do is a single swipe, and it takes a little bit of time for him to recover. He can't, wield it with... can't even destroy those things. So we'll just hang out. But yeah, they go crazy with explosions more than ever before in this game. It's another thing I like. And while I don't think this is necessarily my favorite track in all the X series, the music is pretty badass. Oh, and I messed up there. It's gonna be hard to kind of... Whoa! That was nothing. And I took too long getting to the next. Actually, I'm surprised X can even use the saber in the air. And here's some nameless Maverick hunters. Radio wave problem? Well, that's what a Maverick does. It's possessed, so to speak. Oh yeah, and they changed the boss intro here too. I mean, just the sound on the warning signal, but it at least sounds better, I guess. Minor point, but whatever. And I think pretty much Zero... Well, no, I was wrong about that. We're just gonna hit him in the arm with the X-Buster, and it takes more hits than normal, but shouldn't be a problem considering we're wearing Falcon armor. And I haven't played this game in a couple of years, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be plenty of game overs, but I'm actually going to try to go through the Maverick order in a non-traditional method. Oh, I just realized. Hit this thing. I have no idea what it is, but I guess it's controlling the giant Maverick via quote-unquote radio waves. And now Maverick's in the way of that thing. And this battle music is pretty awful, I'm not gonna lie, but thankfully I think we only hear it one more time in the whole entire game. Next is like, what the hell is that? A Zero Phantom finished it off. But then somebody else shows up. And let's just say this guy is called High Max for a reason. He's really powerful. If you don't know what to do, I mean, he will own you instantly. So High Max is talking about something called the Zero Nightmare, and X is like, "What? You're behind this?" I don't know if X even knows what he's talking about. Behind what? And how would you know it's High Max? But yeah, as of right now, we can't do anything. We just have to avoid him killing us for a while. And whoa! That probably would have killed me if I hadn't. And why high max even leaves me alive, I'm not sure. And oh my eye sock. What is with this guy? Why is he built like that? Like his face. And he looks like he has a beard, like an actual human. I've never known a robot to be given that appearance before, but... So, Isoc is in league with Highmax and Gate, as... I mean, I don't know if in the game you can surmise that yet, but... And they call the sudden phenomenon of Reploids going crazy, he calls it the Zero Nightmare. And malfunction or delete themselves. Well, of course Gate's doing it, and... And of course, Isoc's putting on a real pretty speech here so that nobody will suspect that he's actually, you know, also behind the nightmare. And of course, these investigators, you know, the number 8 there signifies that these 8 so-called investigators are the very ones that I'll be fighting. Because, you know, when machines die, they can become ghosts. He was the best. And I don't know if X is actually standing there in with the crowd, or if he's just listening in on the public service announcement that Isoc's making. I don't know. Honestly, Dr. Kane must have just mass-produced a crap load of various Reploids, you know, at the beginning of, before X1's time, because there's supposedly so few left on Earth, along with humans, after the space colony accident from X5, so... I mean, how many people are possibly left to... I mean, that are even really capable of... have any fighting capabilities near X's or Zero's level. Delete the Zero's ghost. Yeah, I think the grammar in here was actually a little bit bad in some areas. Capcom really could have double-checked that. Yeah, like that can be done. Observe our future, yeah, blah blah blah. X's face just looks retarded here. I know it's just his helmet covering, you know, the pupil of his other eye. He just kind of looks like he's cross-eyed right now. And that is true. So what we're calling the Zero Nightmare specifically is that weird pink specter of Zero that showed up. Alia's telling me not to mess with Izok and High Max, and honestly, even in Falcon armor, X could not be any match for High Max right now. Suspicion. Isn't that kind of what caused the problem in X4? Just completely unnecessary paranoia. Anyway, oh yeah, Cygnus is back too. He's still the commander. So yeah, finally after that lengthy scene, we'll be able to get on with. And there's a lot to do here. It's, I mean, pretty much ever since X1, it seems like you really have to revisit stages a lot where you've already defeated the boss. You know, to gather up your items and stuff to make you a match, you know, good enough match for Sigma at the end. But I mean, it's like we never had to do that in the regular Mega Man series, because I mean, there was no such thing as energy tanks, heart pieces to raise your max life, stuff like that. But here, it's really out of control with that. I mean, I have to constantly go back if I want to gather as much as possible, more than once to each stage, really. It really depends on a lot of specific stuff you have in your arsenal at the moment, whether you're even a match for the boss, or whether you're able to get to a light capsule or heart containers or stuff like that. And Alia just said something significant here. I can't really remember what it means, but she said when changes occur in like the, I guess, the frequency or the intensity of the nightmare phenomenon in an area, she'll indicate it with red, and I think that means we'll be able to go to like a secret boss that you know will be hiding in a distinct area at the time, instead of, and you can choose to end the stage that way instead of going to the original boss. And we'll get to what that is later. And I think they just spelled intentions wrong. So as usual, X is the only hope. And I guess you can assume that maybe Alia has particular feelings for X, which is cool, I guess. I mean, she's just showing particular concern for him. Oh, and also, yeah, they brought back the idea of rescuing other Maverick hunters that are trapped on, you know, in each stage. Except here we actually have a distinct number. There's 8, no, I believe there's 16 each that are rescuable in every single stage, and you can actually lose them because a Maverick nearby just called a nightmare. That's it. Well, as soon as the Maverick hunter comes into view, there's usually a nightmare nearby that will notice it at the same time you do and go after it, so you have to rescue the hunter first by touching it, or else the nightmare will turn into a Maverick and you'll have to destroy it and you'll miss out forever on the item that it can give you. And there's actually a lot of there's a lot of new abilities you can get, most of all the jumper ability from X5 where you can jump higher. And I think I remember which Maverick has that, and I definitely don't want to miss it. Another thing about this game is each of the investigators, which technically are Mavericks, each of them are really different in terms of power. For instance, this is always the guy I go after first because he's by far the weakest. You can defeat him very easily, even with regular X, not even have to wear armor or anything. He can, I mean, he does very, very little damage, and he by far has the lowest life bar. And others have a low life bar too, like this guy, I think, but The thing is, there's only particular times when you can damage him and stuff like that. There's a wide variation in capabilities on these Mavericks, and it's another thing I kind of liked. So, just for kicks, I'm actually going to try to go in a different order this time. This guy is the easiest again, so I'll always start out with him, but we'll try somebody of approximately mid difficulty, and we'll see if we can get him with normal X. Why not? And of course, as always, well, not as always. I think it only started in X5. You can get two new sets of armors, which are both useful in their own ways. Okay, let's see what Aelia has to say here. The North Pole area. Gotta love those ice stages with the slippery footing constantly. And every Maverick Hunter, I mean not, yeah, the Maverick Hunters in every stage have a distinct visual identification to them. For instance, all the Maverick Hunters here are designed to look like wolves or dogs. And of course I had to take that hit because this guy caught me while I was... And you got this avalanche up above. It sucks. It will seriously, I think it'll kill X in like 3 hits. If... Oh! Oh, just barely. I like how they just appear out of thin air, you know? Almost... Oh boy. Oh, well I can just duck here. Cool. Okay, well, I got out of that part easier than I thought. Now what have we got? If you try to turn back, you'll slip. You had better stop by jumping. You know, actually, that's actually pretty useful considering. I'm just recalling like Aelia's advice on what to do in a certain situation for first timers. Like they had that feature in as they had that as an additional feature in the what was it called, the MegaMan game collection, where you could play Mega Man 1 through 8 on the PS2 or the GameCube, and they added this function on at least 1 through 6, I think, where you know you could press select in a new area pretty much any time, and you'll get advice from a peripheral character on what to do. Dr. Light or Roll or Kalinka or Dr. Cossack or Proto Man. And it was always pretty useless, really, but then again, the original Mega Man games overall are, I would say, considerably easier than the X games. And unfortunately, I don't think I can actually latch onto that wall. So we'll just go on down. That's something we'll just have to take care of later. And oh boy. I'm gonna die, yep. Jeez, where's that even coming from? Yeah, he can't even latch onto that edge for some reason. We'll use our invincibility to get through the rock slopes. In fact, I believe the Maverick Hunter with the jumper ability is down here somewhere, except there's absolutely no way we can get to him. He's like, he's on the other side of like a giant spike pit. So in these pits, well, we'll have to use the ice blocks to climb up. But I think if they land on top of you, it's instant death. So we got to be careful here. And sometimes you'll just get screwed over because they come down at random, like that. Oh, as I jumped on to cling to the wall, there just happened to be some spikes there. Whoa. I think we can go ahead and get on over. There we go. Oh, idiot. Your best bet is to stay off the ground as much as possible. Okay. Any day now, if you'd like to pile up a few over here, thank you. Here we go. We'll just grab him. Well, so far we have a 100% success rate on rescuing the hunters. Somehow I stopped in front of the spikes instead of... Okay, this is bad. They're piling really high on one side. I have very little room to maneuver now. Oh! Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, well, I'm screwed. It is a giant block of ice after all. I don't think even X's armor can withstand that. Kind of sucks having to do it with spikes everywhere. You got to be careful about where you run to. Well, this isn't good. Now I gotta wait for them to pile up on the other side considerably before I can make it to... Okay. No! There was a good opportunity and I blew it. And I'm screwed again. Sorry. But like I said, it's just harder in that it's easier to die in this game. Where are they even coming from? Oh, wow, really, again? Sorry, guys, I didn't think I'd be that bad after all this time. Of course, I'm just kind of getting unlucky at the same time. If he had the jumper ability, we could just easily go on over. I'm gonna lament not having it for a while. Okay, so far so good. Okay, one hasn't fallen on my area for a while. Whoa! Here we go. Oh, thankfully there were just 2 holes to get out of. And this one's a little bit harder. You have to jump as soon as they come down, or they freeze up the whole area and it kills you. But you can also use that to your advantage. We'll rescue the other one later. And luckily, if they fall on top of you instead of freezing on you, well, you only take a little bit of damage rather than die. Whoa! Okay, made it to the boss, so all we gotta do is get a plan going for him. Blizzard Wolfang. Yeah, I think I said like the names in X6 were slightly better than X5, but not too much. They kind of go overboard with them, actually. So Alien knows something about this particular investigator named Blizzard Wolfang. It's not the dumbest sounding name, it's just that it's kind of overdoing it, you know? And again, with that level identification over there, I have no idea what it means. You came back? Oh, so Wolfang just outright admitted to you that he's working for Gate, but then again, I guess none of the Maverick Hunters know that Gate is behind this yet, or something. Wolfang's like, yeah, I went through some crap, but, I've got to delete you. Even though he knows I'm a Maverick Hunter and not one of the... I like his fighting style, though. He's pretty cool. Yeah, and the boss music is way better in this game. While not that terrific, it's way better than X4 or X5. Those were awful. Well, I like to think I'm strong enough to take him out with just X. Well, come on, let's not take forever. Oh yeah, he's only, you know, kind of running around and leaping from wall to wall right now, but it gets a little more hectic here in a little bit. Woo! Oh yeah, and some of I think the investigators even have voice acting for the most part too. It's not a big touch, but, you know, it's nice. Well, that was easy enough. To tell you the truth, I don't know what that is I just got. I guess it's the boss's special weapon. For some reason, they actually have to show you receiving it. So, yeah, these, I guess one of the orbs, that weird orb you just saw that X collected, is called a Nightmare Soul, and, Yeah, that's what affects your rank, which in turn affects the number of special parts you can equip that you get from random Maverick hunters that you rescue. It was a really nice addition to this game, I think. So you get nightmare souls from bosses, I believe, and also the random nightmare reploids that you see that are about to attack Maverick hunters and stuff. Ice Burst, if I recall, his weapon actually kind of sucked. And Ailey also tells you how many of the Mavericks that you rescued, which I can't remember what that item I got from the Maverick hunter called Chun. I don't know what that item means. I doubt it's your max life, because +2 actually seems like you'd be able to significantly tell a difference in your max life bar, but I'm not sure. So yeah, Aelia knows this dude. Wolfang defeated all the Mavericks that attacked him in that area, but he lost all his crew. And Aelia says she's behind Wolfang's demise, which I always wondered about that. It's like, well, didn't X just destroy him himself? And I think what it is that all these investigators are Reploids that Gate actually resurrected somehow using the Zero's DNA or whatever that was that he found to create all the nightmares and the Zero nightmare and all that other stuff. So I think Aelia always tells a story about the first time that what led to the investigators' death the first time. And of course, since they're resurrected by Gate and X has to defeat them all, technically they die twice. But yeah, I think I'll go ahead and call it a video here. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in, and yeah, this is X6. I hope you like it so far. It's personally one of my favorite X games, but not all that many people seem to like it. It seems to have a mixed reaction, but hopefully you're enjoying it. So I'll see you next time when I continue.